Hey Plant Fam, how are y'all doing today? I predict that this coming growing season, it's gonna be
All about the prince dwellings.
whether they're random bursts of color or reoccurring patterns, these houseplants add interest to any collection. My favorite thing about making these list videos is when y'all let me know what you have, what you want, maybe what should have made the list that didn't. So shoot me a comment or hit me up on Insta and show me what you got. I'm saving the poached plant for number 9 because we have a few things to unpack with this, so let's just go ahead and get started. Taking up the first spot on our list is the butterfly plant. Now you can see I chose the striped cultivar of this. There are a few varieties and it has these beautiful, delicate leaves that flutter around and aptly named for sure. Now, I've had a hard time trying to find these for sale. What I have found is listed between $15 and $35. So any of y'all that have bought this or have this plant, let us know in the comments what's up with it, where we can find it, and what we can expect to pay, because this was a harder one for me to try and find. I suspect it's more available maybe in person than online. All right, number 2 on my list are Chinese evergreens, which in general will give you really beautiful colors and patterns. There are a lot of varieties. I've been seeing these go between $20 and $60, mostly depending on size and the availability of variety. These like low to bright indirect light, I will say they're slower to grow, so try to get them closer to that bright indirect light, but they will live for you in lower lighting conditions. Also, in general, for colors, patterns in our leaves, the brighter the light, the better the environment is for that plant, the more vibrant leaves you're gonna find. So if you're finding that your leaves aren't giving you what you want, maybe increase your light a little bit, maybe increase your humidity a little bit, because leaves really preserve longer in better humidity, and see if that works for you. And on to the winner for best use of negative space, the Madagascar lace leaf plant or lattice leaf plant. This is an aquatic houseplant that undergoes programmed cell death, and it's one of those enigma plants that is endangered in its natural habitat, but because it has been grown and cultivated in captivity, is widely available on the market. I have seen these go for about $10. You should be able to get them at most of your aquatic stores. Personally, I would get an aquarium just for this and a couple of moss balls. Arrowhead vine, like Chinese evergreens, can tolerate lower light conditions, and they also give you endless varieties of colors and patterns. Today I chose to showcase the red Spot Tricolor. This and the pink splash varieties, they have been expensive this year. I have seen them go between $100 and $200, especially the pink splash. That's what I'm seeing more of. Y'all let me know about this red Spot Tricolor. Who has it and what are they going for? Along to number 5 on the list, the silver lace fern. This is a compact growing fern that gets leaves to about 4 inches long, and what makes it so unique are these beautiful silver white variegations in the center of the leaf. It does like some direct sunlight, and like most of our ferns, it doesn't want to dry out, so make sure you keep it humid and don't let it sit dry. I've seen these go throughout the US between $20 and $30. Lipstick plants are another commonly grown variety, and they give you a really vibrant, beautiful pattern on the abdaxial side of the leaf, or the underside. They also do flower. They get these really beautiful, elongated orange-red flowers. For me personally, I would go to Facebook to get this plant. It's so common in the house plant world. You could get a really cheap plant or cutting just from another hobbyist on Facebook. All right, y'all, I'm just gonna show off one of my own for the next on the list, but Calathea in general are known for their beautiful leaves, so take your pick, really. I find that out of all the varieties I have, my rattlesnake Calathea is the most forgiving, and I just love this beautiful feather-like pattern. There is a peacock maranta, which is very similar to Calathea, but this gives me peacock feels. Anyone else? And these leaves on this particular variety can get quite long. You can see since I've left it in such low light conditions, it's a pretty small plant. They don't like to deal with major temperature changes, so just kind of keep them away from drafts or your heater. All right, next. And second to last, but one of my favorites on the list, Caladium green pearl. Caladium in general, just like many of these species, are going to give you really beautiful colors and patterns. I chose to showcase this because of this amazing dinner plate edging along the side of the leaf. For me, it's these really small details that maybe don't get showcased about a plant that make it so special. Caladium are widely available throughout the US and many varieties are inexpensive. I typically spend less than $10 on my Caladium. And now the poached one, Alocasia Linai. This has up until the last couple of years been in very limited distribution, and that is because it was originally poached from its natural habitat. Now, everything from black walnuts to Venus flytraps are poached in the wild, and legitimate people are selling and buying this plant. It's not a plant to shame anyone for having or selling, but it does bring me to a very important YouTube shout out. With how the rare plant market has been affected by COVID, for me personally, I am only going to be buying from the major sellers that focus on conservation projects. And I mean the big names. That's me personally. So this brings me to my very important YouTube shout out. She is YouTube royalty. Summer Rain Oaks is partnering with a major company to work on conservation projects. And this has been pushed back because of COVID, but I will link the video she's talking about below. Make sure you go subscribe to her channel. And personally, I cannot wait to see how I can be a part of this and help the cause, because I think it's really important, especially now, the focus on reintroducing some of these endangered species back onto protected lands. Y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, and I will catch you on the next episode of Kojo's Tropicals.